Like in hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell.
Festival began yesterday afternoon, and there were some other concerning moments just hours before things turned.
Okay, so I'm finna get right into it, and I'm finna start from the beginning, because this entire process has been very sketch from the beginning. So we basically got this offer for one of my homegirls. Her daddy was looking for some security guards. So he asked us for like our information, which was basic information like weight, height, and like stuff like that. So we gave him the information. He said okay. He gave us like the stuff that we were supposed to do and all this other stuff. So let me just say it was very sketch from the very beginning, because I was the only one who got emails. Like the other three guys that I was with, which was my husband, my nephew, and his homeboy, they never got emails about none of the stuff, only me. So I was already thinking to myself, like, this is very just all over the place. And so yeah, so just a little bit about the job. We were supposed to get paid, fed, and stuff like that, and you get in free. I mean, who wouldn't take the offer? So we drove from Dallas to Houston, and by the time we was all supposed to be there at 7. So by the time we got there, it was 7, and we walked into like complete freaking chaos. Like there was like literally probably like 900 security guards there, but like regular people. They were regular people, but there's going to be security guards, and they were like all over the place, right? They were like, it was like everybody just all over the place. Nobody knew who was in charge. It was just a mess. So then finally this dude stood up and he was like, okay, if you trying to be a security guard, come with me, whoop the whoop. So we all went over. We all was getting in line to sign up. They took me, my husband, and my nephew and his homeboy out the line, and some other people out the line, and we looking at each other like, okay, what's going on? And we figured it out that they were probably gonna get rid of us because we were too small. The dude said, no, we're not gonna get rid of y'all. Y'all just gonna work less hours. And we was like, okay, cool. So that's when we stayed outside the line for a long time, and there was rumors going around that people weren't gonna get paid and that we were getting scammed, and that like it was just a bunch of mess and drama. So people started leaving, like security started leaving, and then they started basically picking who they wanted to go inside, who they wanted to do what, blah 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 blah. So yeah, as you can see, it was all over the place. So we thought that we were gonna get sent home. We go to the car. Next thing I know, my husband gets us in, and then me and him get picked to go inside the concert. This is when shit just started getting weird, okay? Just started getting weirder. Go to part 2. Okay, so it's complete chaos everywhere, right? So finally, we figure out that we're finna get ready to go inside. Y'all, let me just put this out there. People had bags and backpacks and everything like that. They never once searched no bags. They searched no bags. Nobody was COVID tested. There was even this girl I met inside the concert who actually said she showed them a fake vaccination paper, and she was able to get in. She was so lit about being able to get away with that. So yeah, just a little disclaimer, they did not care about COVID, and they didn't care about what was in security's bags and stuff like that. And let me also remind y'all that we were regular people off the streets, like regular people off the streets. They did no background check. They did nothing, okay? Nothing. So we get inside, and we're basically trying to figure out like what area we're gonna work. Now, mind you guys, I only thought that I was going to be doing something simple like scanning bracelets and checking bags, something normal. Very much not. That was not the case. I was about to be doing some real life work that I'd never done in my life. So that was another problem that I just thought was so dumb. So we were walking around, basically trying to figure out where we were going to work, and it was just a mess. I'm listening to all the other people that's coming in as security guards. They're about to work. They are not even normal people. Like, they sound like they're not all the way there up there, and that they have just like, they were like a little off, a little slow. And then he was saying like, okay, everybody needs to call their family, let them know like, we'll do like you all right and what we about to be doing, because in a few minutes your service is not gonna work. I don't know if that's like a normal thing at concerts, because yeah, that was not normal to me. That was very sketchy and very weird. And I was like, okay. So I started letting my family know, like, I'm not gonna have service. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Mind you, my nephew and them is still outside the gates. They didn't even get in. So I was calling them, letting them know, like, hey, y'all need to hurry up and let me know when y'all get in, because if y'all don't get in, we're gonna leave. So we're just walking around all over the place, don't know where we're gonna be. The head security man that was over us did not know where we were gonna go. He was just like lost as us, literally just as lost as us. And they were like, okay, we're gonna guard this area, we're gonna guard that. It was just a mess. You had security guards taking off their vest and just blending in with the regular crowd. You had security guards getting high. Yeah, it was just a hot mess, okay? So yeah, everybody's just walking around lost. Then that's when we get to this area, and it's like where we're gonna actually be working, right? And there's police officers there. Houston PD, the real deal, not fake security, but the real deal, okay? Okay, so then we see the officers, and they up there just chilling, having a good time, doing nothing. And I was thinking, okay, maybe that's because the concert didn't start yet, whatever. So we were just walking around. Everything was just like, it was just like in slow-mo, just weird. The vibe was off because everybody was so confused and nobody knew what they were doing, including the people that was over us. So finally the officers leave, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna go work. I was wrong. So yeah, let's skip to when the concert is starting. There's people there. Tell me why. We're looking around, because as a security, you're just standing there, you're just looking, and we're looking, and I'm looking at all these officers, and I'm like telling my husband, like, hey, they're not doing nothing, like they're not even doing nothing, like they're just recording on their phones, enjoying the concert, and basically leaving the work to us, people who are not even certified for this, okay? They are leaving the job on us, and that was just a no for me. I was like, that's weird. I don't like that they're doing that. So I'm just looking around. I'm seeing all these fans and stuff like that, like all the people who bought tickets and stuff come in. They're strange. They're not normal. And I'm just like, this is like, it just felt like off the whole day. And then the dude that was over us, the security, like the main guy that was over us, this man is like harassing women and like flirting so hard with them that he's like scaring them and they're like leaving. And he was like taking pictures with like some women and stuff like that. Remind you, not doing his job. And he's just like chilling, just parlaying all over the place. And so finally we looking, I see like at the corner of my eye, like something coming over the gate. Tell me why it's a million little fans jumping over the gate. And I'm like telling my husband, like, okay, like go, because they were already saying like if you don't do nothing either, you're gonna get fired, you won't get your money and stuff. So I was like, okay, go over there, like help. Tell me why this security man, the big one that's over us, fell, and then he gets over there and he does nothing, just staring at them coming over the gate. Like he did nothing. He just watched them come over the gate. And I'm just like, this is giving me very much bad vibes. Like I was like, this is getting wild, and it's still early. Like it's not even dark. And I was telling my husband, I was like, hey, like I don't want you running up to like a bunch of fans and stuff when stuff is going crazy, because they gave us nothing to protect ourselves. They don't care about us. And I was like, it's just not worth our life. Like we got kids to go home to at the end of the day. I hate it, but like we're not certified for this. We didn't even know the grounds. We didn't know nothing. And it was just like, no. I was like, no, don't do that. So we basically made up in our mind that like from now on, it was basically like we're gonna watch. And before y'all start, we were not going to watch people die, okay? We were not going to watch them die. It was just like when they were jumping the gates, there's nothing we can do to stop them. That's the part we were going to watch. This comment right here is so true. Okay, so anyways, so then we asked the boss, like after they broke in or whatever, and then it like kind of like this area was kind of like a little bit dry at this point, because now the police officers are actually on the outside of the gate. But they didn't stay there long, okay? They didn't stay there long. So we asked the boss. We was like, hey, can we go up to the other area where there's more people and there's more crowd, and we can probably try to all spread out over there and keep them from basically smushing each other, right? No, y'all don't want to be up there because the music is too loud. You can't think, you can't hear. But he only said that because he didn't want to go up there. He just wanted to stay in the back and flirt and do nothing, basically. He didn't want to even work. That's what I took it as. So I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, I was like, there's nobody back here. There's nothing for us to do back here, okay? There's nothing. So I felt like we should have been at the front. Nope, he didn't want to do it. And I was like, okay, whatever. So then as the day goes on, y'all, this is the part that's about to get you. So not only do we not have service, and I thought that was very strange, because the service had worked the entire time we was in there, but it did not work anymore. It completely did not work. Like, you could not get hold to nobody from your phone. I thought that was weird. I also thought it was weird that my nephew and them was still stuck on the outside. They never ever got in. We don't even know what was going on with that. They didn't even know what was going on with that. So then, this is the part that gets me. We're sitting here. We're literally sitting here, and I'm watching someone open their necklace, sniff something up their nose. You do with that what you will, okay? Sniff something up their nose. I look at the police officer, Houston PD, who looks at me, looking at him, and we're looking at them, and he does nothing. He just looks at them sniffing and be weird. And the whole group is doing it. It's not just one person. It's the entire group. And I know he saw them because he literally looked at me and shook his head. And I'm thinking, what are you going to do? So, with that being said, when y'all want to come for security, just remember, if Houston Police Department is not doing anything, what the hell can we do? We cannot do anything, okay? So then it went on. So as we're still looking around and the concert is going on, Houston PD see people smoking illegal drugs and doing all this stuff, and they're doing nothing. So I told my husband, I was like, this is crazy, because this is the only city I know where something could be illegal, and the police department looks right past it as if it's nothing. And you know what they're doing? They're just walking around enjoying the concert, not worried about anybody's safety, anybody's lives. And remind you, I usually don't care about people smoking, but there were kids there. Come on, kids. Okay, so as the day go on, you could definitely tell that the drinks are kicking in, the drugs is kicking in. People were literally wowing. So let's skip to when Lil Baby went up. Okay, so Lil Baby went up, and I'm now the only security at my station. I'm the only security because everybody else left and went to go enjoy the concert. Okay, so I'm the only security there, and this man literally starts raging. He's like raging, like powering up, being very weird, yelling and screaming, and just acting very delusional. And it was so creepy. And the bartender is like freaking out, and she's coming to me. She's like, oh my god, like, where's the dude that's over you guys? Like, we need some help. We need to get him out of here. And I'm like, I don't even know. I'm looking all over for our boss. I'm looking all over for the boss, and I don't even know where he's at. So this man is literally going like crazy, and then some people that was there at the concert just literally had to get him, hold him down, and then take him away. It was like the scariest shit ever. And I was like, yeah, this is not normal. And so keep going, still looking around for this man. He's literally at the front of the concert, enjoying Lil Baby. Ain't you supposed to be the boss? Ain't you supposed to be over us? Like, this is a hot ass mess. And then you got people still in the back sniffing their drugs. You got people on the side, like where there's like this little gate part where people are not supposed to be. You have people back there laid out on the ground. You got people back there pissing as if these people aren't on the ground. It's just a mess. Never once did I see security go back there and check any of that. Never once did I see police department go back there and check any of that. I never seen anybody do anything. These people were literally tripping out. Like, it was so scary. So afterwards, when the Lil Baby, when his part ended, the security man came back, and I was like, like, people are like wilding, like, what are you gonna do? He was like, that's what they do at concerts. That has nothing to do with us. I mean, we just have to make sure that they don't jump over the gates.
I was one of the EMTs that worked at the Astroworld event. Quick disclaimer, I'm going to give absolutely no names, no company names, nothing like that, nothing to disclose or put anyone in jeopardy. Me and my partner, let's just say Medic 1, me and Medic 1 were stationed at the entrance of Astroworld. About 30 minutes into Travis Scott's set, they called us saying, hey, we need backup by the stage. So me and Medic 1 arrive at the front of the crowd, and to Medic 2, Medic 3, they're like, hey, I have people, come with me. And so we walk through the VIP section down the middle of the crowd. As soon as we get past the VIP section, really shoulder to shoulder in the thick of the crowd, there was a couple people that kind of grabbed onto my shoulder and was like, hey, there's a girl passed out over here. So me and medic 1 separate from medic 2 and 3. They go on their call, we go on this new one. This girl's laying down, and me and medic 1 are asked, what's going on, what's going on? And one of the people says that, oh, she's been down for 10 minutes, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm thinking, damn it, how has no one done anything? Just let her lie on the ground for 10 minutes. So I get down there, check her pulse and breathing, do my whole ABCs check, and she has no pulse, no breathing, which means she could have not been breathing with no pulse the whole 10 minutes. She's been sitting there for 10 minutes, probably no pulse, no breathing, no oxygen to her brain. I can't just throw her over my back and escort her out of the crowd because it was a 5-minute hike into this damn crowd. So I tell medic 1, hey, I'm going to come back for you. I'm going to grab a crash bag. So I get out of the crowd and I grab my one crash bag, which was huge mistake. I had no clue what I was getting into. So on my hike back into the crowd with my crash bag, at the halfway point right here, I find another medic performing CPR. I get down, I'm like, hey dude, where's your partner? What's going on? And he's like, I don't know, man. I just saw this person who's no pulse, no breathing. I just started CPR. I don't know how I'm gonna get him out. In EMS, you have to complete your first call before you can assist on any other ones. And so I was like, okay, look, I'll come back for you too. I need to go to my original guy. So I head out, and then in the middle point between the midpoint and my end point right here, I find a third person performing one-man CPR on another man. And I get there, I'm like, hey, what's happening? Where's your partner? And they're like, they're taking care of another unconscious person. I need to do one-man CPR. I don't know how I'm getting this person out of here. So here I am presented with 3 different EMS personnel providing one-man CPR on 3 different patients, completely isolated from each other, no backboard, no way of getting out. And I'm just like, God damn it. Because of the heat of the moment, whatever, right? My thought process was, okay, I'm not getting these first 2 people out until I get my original person out, because that's the first person I ran into. So I gave person number 2, or CPR person number 2, right here, I gave him the crash bag. And I was thinking, you know what, person number 1 that I originally went to, probably already done a couple cycles of CPR, and I'm just gonna throw her on my back and get her the hell out of here. And to give y'all context, the radio wasn't working, the music was way too loud. I had called for backup and for help so many times, and it was just not going through. I tossed person number 2 the crash bag, and I get to person number 1 who was originally there, and thank goodness like 5 cops were there. And they had brought a backboard with them, which thank God. They loaded her up onto the backboard and we get her out of there. She's on her way with like 4 or 5 cops. My original partner, medic 1's making sure she's okay. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta take care of these other 2. I get to CPR number 2, who I dropped the crash bag off with. And the medic's still there, but a cop arrived with another backboard. So after they finished their round of CPR, I'm like, okay, look, being in this crowd is literally a life threat. That was apparent. Life over limb, she needs to get the hell out of here, just like everyone else who's passed out here. And just to say, along the way, I had so many people reach out to me, tug on my jacket, grab my shoulder, and was like, please help me, I broke my foot. Please help me, I dislocated my shoulder. Please help me, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And I had to tell all of them, I will try to come back for you, but people are literally dead right now that I need to go help. So we get CPR number 2 loaded up onto a backboard. The cops are like, I got it. And I'm like, okay, thank God, take him out. I can go to CPR number 3. I get to CPR number 3 and no one's touched this man. No one's helped this man. He needs a crash bag. So I sprint out of the crowd, grab another crash bag, bring it back. What do you know? Security with a backboard. I'm like, thank fuck, teamwork, right? And so as soon as I get 3rd CPR, kind of out the door, out of the way from the crowd, I tell them, look, 3 people dropped in the span of 10 minutes that only I could see. There's like over, what, 50,000 people here, and I witnessed 3, only me. There's gotta be more. I told those medical personnel, look, I'm gonna go in and find these people, do one-man CPR, do whatever needs to be done to make sure, provide the best amount of care possible and get them the hell out of here. If this was just the higher acuity patients, me and medic 1, my partner, probably dealt with 5 or 6 other lower acuity. And when I mean lower acuity, I mean not instantly dying, right? I'm talking about broken feet, AMS, people who don't even know their name, they don't even know how to speak anymore. It was horrendous. Me and Medic 1 ran our asses off. In the thick of this, I'm like, so many people are going down, so many people are getting injured. And my observations were that there was zero crowd etiquette at all. They just wanted to get closer to the show, closer to Travis Scott, and do their thing. They didn't give a single damn about anyone around them. It was an absolute shit show, and I promise you, a lot of these rumors going around where, oh, EMS they weren't trained enough. They were understaffed. Every EMT in the field that I saw, they weren't new to the job, nor were they EMRs. Everyone in the med tent was the absolute A-team. In the medical tent, they had 2 doctors, a SWAT physician, a ton of SWAT medics, seasoned paramedics, and then basics. If you could draw an A-team from Houston that aren't doctors, they were there. It was just a situation where maybe just over 100 or 150 personnel was responsible for probably over 50,000 highly irresponsible people. Whose fault is it? My observations was the crowd. There were probably some, and you could probably see from the videos going around the internet, these people who are getting up on these towers, screaming at camera people, please stop the show. Those are the heroes. Those are the people who need to be applauded. Because those are the people who actually gave a damn, saw that people were dying, and were like, hey, look, this concert doesn't mean shit. 8 people are dying. At the end of the day, we had 8 confirmed deaths so far, 11 confirmed cardiac arrests. What does that mean? That means 8 people confirmed dead on scene, and the other 3 are still being worked on in the hospital. They might be vegetables by this point. Just highly frustrating. Me and every single one of the medical personnel did our very best, and we're being slandered. We were presented with an impossible situation, and everyone was escorted to the hospital. Everyone was taken care to the best of everyone's ability, and I know for damn sure, whoever my hands touched, I did my absolute damnedest to provide the best care I could. It's just sad to know that when you bring over 50,000 self-centered people who only care about themselves into one place, this is what happens.
Lucas! Lucas! Help!
Okay, hi guys, so I'm gonna try doing story time. I haven't stopped crying and I haven't really slept very well, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit jumbled. I want to give some background that me and my best friend Mauricio, we go to Ragers all the time. We are known as a raging duo. Like, we are always at crazy things. We went to City Morgue and like I got punched in the face and like all this shit. Like, it's okay, I've raged before. I went to Cardi, but it got canceled, so yeah. Me and him were planning on going to Astroworld for months, and we were super beyond excited because all our favorite artists were going to be there, and it was rage time, and we were super excited because that's what we do. We live for the rage. We live for those moments where you can let go and just be one with the music. Everything was fine. We went to see Don Toliver at a show as well, and we saw him perform at Astro, and it was great. It was super fun. I love Don Toliver, and he's a beautiful performer. But things started going down when we were waiting for Travis Scott. We got there at like 6:30, and he started performing around 9. We stood up, and the countdown started going down. Once it hit like the 10 seconds, things started getting very crowded, and I could not breathe. For reference, I'm only 4'10", and I'm very small, and I weigh 100 pounds on a good day. After the first 3 songs, things were getting super hectic. People were falling down, people were passing out. I was stepping on people. You could not move. Like, I was suffocating, literally. There was one moment after 3 or 4 songs that people start falling down, and I get at the bottom of the mush of people. There's 6 or 7 people on top of me at one point. I started screaming because I could not breathe. I was at the bottom with 6 or 7 people on top of me. I kept pushing them over, like, off of me, so nothing happened to my back or spine, thankfully, thank God. There was one point where my knee popped and I started screaming, I cannot feel my legs, I think my leg is broken, and started screaming bloody murder. My best friend at this point was behind me, also like crushed. He got out and he says he was fighting for his life and could not move. He got his feet and he got his shoes off and started trying to help me out. I saw people on the floor that were not breathing. I saw people on the floor that were seizing out and falling down. I don't know. Personally, I did not see anyone give injections, but I don't know what happened. People were falling down left and right. Yeah, I'm gonna make a part 2. Sorry. I want to start this one out saying I'm so sorry for anyone that lost a loved one there. I'm beyond grateful that I survived. There was one point, I don't believe in God very much, but I was praying to God that I made this out alive and that me and my best friend made it out alive. Once I finally got out, my leg was facing the other way, facing at a 90-degree angle on the other side of my foot, so I could not feel my legs. My knee was like completely out of place. My best friend was screaming for a medic, screaming for help. I remember people screaming to please stop the music. I remember people saying that we needed to stop, people needed to get up. I've never seen anything like that in my life. My best friend finally got me out, and he started screaming that we needed a medic and we needed to get out there now. It took us 10 to 15 minutes to get out of the first area of the mosh. Someone threw me over a railing to get to a medic. Thankfully, thank God. I kept saying, I can't feel my legs, please someone help me, please. I was walking over people that I could not see breathing to get to a medic. There was 4 or 5 people that I saw passed out. There was 2 people that I did not see breathing at all when I was going to see the medic. Once we got to the medic area, I wasn't helped very much. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't rescue me because there were so many people that I was just placed on a box and sat there until the show was over. So I was from a 9:10 to 10:30, I was in this medic area watching people seize, fall down, pass out. Someone was in a wheelchair with restraints on them. Finally get out after a long time of crying and being in pain and no one helping me. Got in a wheelchair and I go to the medic area. Once I got to the medic area, I saw the bigger guy that the video has been going around about. I saw him getting heart shocks and CPR on the floor. I was wheeled into the medic area, then wheeled out because of that. I saw a girl in the corner crying over a dead body and 2 body bags. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I don't want to ever experience anything like that ever again. I I saw the bigger guy get brought into an ambulance, still continuing to do CPR. At this point, I was counting he was down for 5 minutes, continuing to do CPR. There was too many people injured. There was a line to get into the medic area. I was considered a yellow case, and there were some people who didn't even get help until I left, which was 2 hours after the concert finished.
I'm about to do this video and let everybody know what the fuck happened to that Astroworld, bro. Like, okay, so when I first got there, that's when Master P was performing. It wasn't that many people there, so I had went, you know, I got in the crowd. We was probably like in the middle of the crowd, but we was way in the front. And as everything was happening, I just felt like I was being crushed and like I couldn't breathe, and I almost like literally passed out. Like I felt like I was about to like collapse. So I started screaming and shit. So that's when like the people, they seen me just because of the fact that I was in the front. So they had pulled me out, you know what I'm saying? And then I had got out and I had just stood around, like not in the crowd no more. But that was during the daytime. So look, let me tell y'all something. Look, all right, so this is when Travis Scott is about to hit the stage. All right, something in my mind told me don't get in the crowd due to the fact of what happened to me earlier that day, you know what I'm saying, with the whole Master P, you know, audience and whatnot. So look, Travis Scott about to perform. It's probably like 100,000 plus people, you know, everywhere, you know what I'm saying, just standing around in the barricades, you know what I'm saying. So it wasn't as bad, but something told me don't stand in the barricade. I sat on the side, you see what I'm saying. I went all the way to like the end of the line, and I was like right there on the barricade, but I sat like, you know, like took a seat on it so I wouldn't be in the crowd like that. But I kid y'all not, bro. As soon as Travis Scott started, like as soon as he started, like all the flame, the fire, the fucking like the Phoenix and all that shit, and then he popped out, started going crazy, and like I'm telling you, as soon as he started going crazy, like the whole crowd started raging and shit. Everybody just screaming, help, help, help. Mind you, I'm sitting on top of the fence. So I'm looking down on everybody and I'm seeing all this shit happening, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers reaching and they crying. I'm trying to pull people out. So look, in the middle, it's a VIP section, like different celebrities and people who pay like thousands of dollars to sit in the VIP section. Mind you, I'm pulling people out and I'm trying to pull them into that VIP section. That's where like people was pulling people in so they can breathe. So the people in the damn VIP section, they getting mad, talking about why the fuck you pulling people over here in our section. I'm like, man, fuck that shit, bro. These people about to lose their motherfucking lives, you know what I'm saying? So I pull out this one boy. This boy, he probably like 14 years old. This is a little bitty teenager, bro. This one lady, I kid you not, in the fucking VIP section, literally put her hands on this boy and associated this boy and started hitting him like, didn't I tell y'all don't jump the fuck over? So I end up screaming, I'm like, bitch, who the fuck is you to tell somebody what the fuck they can do? Like, bitch, this ain't your motherfucking concert, bitch. Don't nobody give a fuck about what motherfucking ticket you paid for. Like, these people need some fucking help. So I'm helping people, I'm pulling people out. And like, it just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like, it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like, just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like, I kid you not. Like, in the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted, and the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning them black and blue. Like, I never seen death in my fucking life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 fucking people laid out dead. And like, once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person. It was nothing they could have do. Like, this shit really fucked me up and like really spooked me tonight. Like, that was like some demonic shit. Like, and what was so crazy, like, people were screaming help, trying to tell Travis Scott. They was like, help. The whole crowd was just going like, help, help, help. And he just kept going, bro. It was like, that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic, bro. And mind you, y'all see the type of music I make. Y'all see everything, like, you know, like, I've been so heavily influenced by Travis, but like, after tonight, bro, like, God really showed me, like, you know, like, stay away from that shit, bro. Like, that shit not for you, because like, he sacrificed so many people's lives tonight, like, for real. Like, so many people's lives are gone tonight because they want to go to a fucking Travis Scott concert and have fun. You know, he influenced people to be raging and all this shit. So many people broke in, and it was just chaos, bro. It was a living fucking hell, bro. Imagine seeing all those dead bodies, and that was just by me. And the shit got so bad, I was sitting on top of the gate. I was pulling so many people in, helping so many fucking people. And people was just screaming, crying, trying to ask for my help. I got so overwhelmed, I jumped down and I ran out that bitch and I left, bro. Like, this shit really happened tonight. And a lot of people, they, you know, hearing this shit, but like, watch tomorrow, y'all gonna see this shit was no fucking joke. Like, this shit really happened. So many people got injured, so many people died. That shit was so fucking wicked. Like, it was so wicked, bro. Like, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, put nothing on Travis Scott and call him Illuminati, call him no devil worship, but that what the fuck it was, bro. We really went to a concert in hell, bro. You couldn't breathe. I'm talking about everybody was so crushed up on you. It was like literally no room for you to lift your chest up and breathe. Like, you couldn't move. You couldn't fucking breathe, bro. Just by the good fucking grace of God, I was in the front, so they helped me out. But I knew, and I even told people at nighttime, I said, bro, once the sun go down and the main stage opened up, I said, bro, do not go to that fucking, the middle of that fucking crowd, because at nighttime, nobody will be able to hear you. Nobody will be able to see you. Something bad gonna happen, bro. And exactly like that, a lot of bad shit happened. A lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people got hurt. So any parents watching this shit, I would advise you to not send your motherfucking kids to no fucking Astroworld Fest. Let their ass stay at home. That shit was not fun. It was scary as fuck. Like, don't go. And if that bitch still is open tomorrow, don't send your kids. I really hope that shit get canceled. I know tomorrow this shit gonna be on the news for sure. But shit, that's all I gotta say, bro.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, you know, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, you know, help them get the help they need, you know. I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. We've been working closely with everyone to just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, you know, everyone to, you know, help us figure this out. So if you have any information, you know, please just contact your local authorities. Everybody continue to just keep your prayers. I mean, I'm honestly just devastated. I could never imagine anything like this just happening. I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you guys updated and just keep you guys informed of what's going on. Love you all.
So the apology, I don't, this was pretty brief, right? This is a short video. So let's look at just what we saw non-verbally speaking, then we'll talk about the opinion side of things. So throughout it, we saw a characterization non-verbally of just subdued body language, and this is probably done through an alteration of his psychology, likely through substance. That's just my kind of conclusion here. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I haven't had any blood work from him or anything like that, so this is just me looking at him. But then considering that context and seeing what spikes we saw from there and which ones we didn't see, and just making sure that we've looked at all of the information, it seems as though he was emoting in negative ways towards the incident itself, but not in the realms of grief or sadness, which is what people would hope to see, but more so in the frustration or exhaustion side of things. From what I can understand, he's not displaying sadness overtly, but more so frustration. And while this isn't enough to say that he's not feeling sad or he's not feeling sorry, I can say that at this point, while he's releasing this video, sadness and grief are not at the top of his priority list emotionally. It's frustration, exasperation, and then also just trying to maintain a sense of being human while being altered as he is here. So that's what we're seeing here. That's why you're so frustrated by this. And yes, this apology does not hold any light to the atrocity that happened there. That's terrible. That's really, really terrible.
Man, if Travis Scott and the people in charge of this festival get away with it because y'all turned it into a satanic conspiracy theory, I'm gonna be pissed. How does that make sense to y'all? You think that because we brought up the fact that this concert looked satanic and it looked demonic, that all of a sudden the police are going to be, well, case clear, guys. It's a wrap here. It was satanic. We're not going to look into the case anymore. Like, what the fuck type of mentality do y'all have? Honestly, I'm sorry. I have to go off here. I'm so sick of the idiocy. Like, it becomes frustrating, especially when you're covering cases like this and you want to tackle it from every angle, and you got these closed-minded people who are really fed their thought process from the mainstream media. Okay, when people point out the fact that this concert looked satanic or it felt demonic, it's because it looked satanic and it felt demonic. Every last person who was at the place said it themselves. But y'all want to sit at home from your armchairs like an armchair quarterback and tell people what the concert felt like when you weren't there. They said it felt satanic. They said it felt demonic. Therefore, it felt satanic and it felt demonic.
Because there's a few things floating around. Some that's misinformation, of course, that the mainstream media is trying to push to discredit truthers. That has to do with The Simpsons. While there are some truths in the show with this Astroworld thing, there's like, you know, people are using fan art and thinking it's actually from the show. So the mainstream media has picked up the story, of course, so they can run with it and crap all over conspiracy theorists, because that's what they have to do to condition the masses into dismissing people like us. Was Sia on the other side on his stage? I mean, can you make it up, Sia on the other side, right? Nothing strange about that, nothing here. What's on the other side, Travis Scott? Here. Kylie Jenner is the mother of Travis Scott's children. I don't know if they're on, I really don't know or care if they're on or off again, but it's important to know this because the Kardashian family is a family that's constantly surrounded by blood, death, satanic occult stuff, because they're high-ranking Armenian witches like I covered in my first video. This was a video where she's literally doing a bloodbath. And of course, they link it to, well, Nightmare on Elm Street, because it's October, because that's what they want to do. So in case anybody actually calls them out for just like, you know, because this has everything to do with makeup, right? Covering yourself in red liquid like blood. In attendance, has a child with him. It was on her mother's 66th birthday celebration. They were having a big party on her 66th, so you get the numerology there, which is obvious numerology. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. And then you had her, of course, doing this blood-like ritual, covering herself in the blood at this event where, well, we saw what happened to the people at the show. And it's unfortunate a lot of people went into cardiac arrest and things like that. And the show continued, you know, people were saying that the show continued on. They didn't cancel it quick enough, and he wasn't paying attention. I mean, these are things that they all do on purpose, okay? They work, right? They know this stuff and they prep people for it. Like I've said a million times, this is sigil magic. So they wanted people to take this photograph and run with it and say, look, they showed them going into Astroworld, and then piece together these pieces from episodes where there actually was a trampling. And there was actually, you know, this newspaper article from 1992 where Batboy accurately predicts Final Four. That's because back then, for those of you who weren't old enough to remember, the Inquirer, I believe it was, which is, you know, probably more truth in the Inquirer than there is. No, there's not there is more truth in the Inquirer than there is on CNN. Ran a story about a Batboy. And again, I covered it with his album cover, or at least the image he was using on his YouTube videos, where the true dystopia is here. When the end arrives, it's really the beginning, right? So of course there's symbolism with this stuff, and then The Simpsons showing it. Now, does that mean that The Simpsons predicted anything? No, of course not. But people were creeped out by it because they saw that, you know, they remembered this episode apparently. I mean, I don't sit and watch The Simpsons, but a lot of people pointed it out online. And then, of course, like I said, they wanted this picture of them entering through the mouth, like you saw at Astroworld, was photoshopped in 2018 from somebody who was a fan of Travis Scott's. And people saw that and they said The Simpsons know, they knew it, because they put in these clips of Bart being at the concert, and then there was kind of like an uprising, so to speak, no cliche there, no pun intended, And, you know, everybody kind of tramples on top of one of the kids that's there with Bart. So the media went, they didn't go, you know, crazy over it. It's not like it's, you know, but I mean, it is all over the place. New York Post, you know, CNN, a lot of these fake outlets want to cover this stuff when it happens because they go, look, they took a Photoshop photo and they used it and they said that there's a conspiracy. See, these people don't know what they're talking about. So that's why you got to be careful when you see stuff like this. I don't blame anybody out there for doing that if they actually truly believe that, and I do believe that they did. Because why would anybody, you know, who would be making fan art? I mean, I don't know. I guess people do that stuff. I feel
when you come in this world, you come in this world by yourself. When you leave out, you're gonna leave by yourself. So you got to get right with God and Jesus Himself. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. You see what's happening right in our face. Right in our face, like it's dead. Like, and I hear a lot of people that don't believe or whatever saying, well, you know, nah, you can't really blame it on Travis, you can't really blame it on Drake. I don't blame it on either one of them. I blame it on who they serve. I don't blame it on either one of them. They puppets. Facts. You know. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Just speak about what I saw, and it's an awakening for the youth. One thing Kanye said, Kanye just had an interview on Norega on his podcast. He was talking about shock. He was talking about shockwaves, the shock waves and the 808 and the music. And in Chicago, man, I'm telling you, these kids, they listening to this drill music and they just killing each other. They like zombies. They just murking each other. And the people talking about it's not the music, it is the music. It's something in that music that's, you know, it's hypnotized, hypnosis. You know what I'm saying? And so I just encourage you to get right with the Lord while you still can, because those kids' days came for them at the concert. You don't know when your day comes. My name's Demetrius, man.
Demetrius, man. Where you calling from?
Yeah. The west side of Chicago, man.
Shouts to the whole west side of Chicago, the home.
So there's two key components with this. There's the music industry component, and then there's a more metaphysical component. The music industry component is merely these artists, we all know this. We know at this point they sell their souls to the music industry. When you make the deal with the studios are basically a face for cabals. They are cabals. I'm not going to say it's one cabal or it's them or them over there. There's many different cabals, there's many different agendas all in play, and they all work cohesively to get people to follow these artists as essentially false idols. It's no different from the kind of things that were happening back in ancient times when you had, you know, people worshiping different gods and all these different kind of things. So when you become one of these big famous artists, they put a entity into you. The artists don't try to hide it. They're not trying to hide it from us. Travis Scott already told everybody, I'm Cactus Jack. You know what I'm saying? That's who he is. That's his entity. He has an entity that calls itself Cactus Jack because the entity has to bring glory unto itself. So, you know what I'm saying? That's one element. The other element is that they had a particle reactor built into the stage. Are you familiar with CERN? The facility CERN in Sweden?
Nah.
So CERN was created back in 1954. After World War II, the governments of the world basically started building all this different technology. CERN is where the internet was invented. Most people, I would say probably 98% of people don't realize that the internet was invented in CERN. CERN has this huge machine called the Large Hadron Collider. Hadron spelled Hadron. If you just Google search CERN, CERN, it'll come up on Wikipedia and it has the whole breakdown. The Large Hadron Collider takes atoms and mashes them together. They were working on this since the 50s, so around like between the late 90s to 2008, they finally figured out how to break down the molecular structure of reality itself. They called it the God particle, and they cracked quantum computing. And they started making portals, real portals. They started making actual portals, and that's what caused the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect was a ripple effect because they broke our dimension of reality, and it created ripples where little things started changing, like titles of movies and stuff like that, because all of the molecules that make up even the title of a movie that we all know, that's particles. So if they open up portals, you know what I'm saying, it'll affect it to where instead of a movie called Star Wars, we're going to remember as Space Wars, and then all the movie titles on all the covers of CDs will change. Something very small, most people will be like, oh, no, that ain't nothing, but that's what happened. So his stage setup, that vortex, and you can even see, I seen on Instagram, they had like someone took a little video when they were putting it up. It's essentially a little mini CERN reactor. They put a little mini CERN reactor built into his stage, and it essentially created some kind of hell atmosphere. I don't know how much of a role it played. I'm not saying that they got teleported to a whole different dimension, but it played some kind of role in creating a frequency that was going through with everyone being there in that mindset, ready to rage. I heard that people were getting injected either after they passed out or possibly before they passed out. There were people going around getting injected, different things like that. I think the main thing for people to take away from this is the majority of people don't believe that these entities, and I don't mean demonic ones, I mean the music labels, you know, the government, and different things like that. People think that these individuals in power are not nefarious enough to do something like this on purpose.
Hold on one second. Hold that thought. Hold on one second. Hold that thought. We got over 1,500 people in the building.
People want to believe Travis Scott cares about me. I'm a fan. No, he doesn't. They want to believe the label cares about me. I support what they do. No, they don't. Those are bodies. Those people who showed up ready to rage, they're part of a culture. They created this culture within hip hop with the popularity of hip hop through artists like Wayne, who totally shifted us out of the Tupac paradigm of the revolutionary community leaders. Wayne was the one who put us in what's called this nihilism, a nihilistic culture. Let's pat our bodies with demonic signs. We don't know what they mean, but they actually open portals. Let's do hella drugs, go to parties and rage. Raging, being ragers, all this stuff, it means out of control. People showed up at Travis Scott show knowing this is Astroworld. Astroworld already has a reputation as being a brutal show where people get, you know what I'm saying, trampled and they're in the mosh pit. Last year we didn't have it in 2020 because the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, was in effect. So now people are coming back with a year of pent up energy, showing up at this Astroworld thing that they already have been getting it better and better formatted to what they wanted to be. If you see the footage of Scott when he walks up and runs up on the stage, he was already in his demon mode. Cactus Jack was already in the building when he got on stage, and he already knew all these people were going to die. That's why he didn't do nothing when he was on stage. People want to know, why was he just standing there and everyone's screaming help? Because he knew they were going to die. Why do you think they had paramedics there who didn't know how to perform CPR? Paramedics that are dropping dead bodies off of the gurneys on the ground. They don't know how to revive people because they weren't there to revive people. Wow. People were supposed to die this. This was all planned. They had the CERN reactor. Why would they put a CERN reactor that was going to open some kind of portal if they didn't want it to happen on purpose? This happened on purpose, and these agencies are nefarious enough to do this to you. People out there, like, that's the thing. I'd say that's probably the biggest takeaway, the biggest message is people are going through these concerts thinking it's all fun and games. Oh, it's just for the music. It's just to support Travis Scott. It's just for this, just for that. Nah, that's not what it's about. It's you're basically, people are involved in a like a demonic cult. You know what I'm saying? Our culture is supposed to be our shelter. That's what hip-hop was created, because they took everything away from us. We didn't have music programs in school, so we created a community thing like, oh, we're going hip-hop, we're going jam. They monetized that, turned it into something corporate, and now they've made it something demonic to where these kids, and that's the sad part, is kids under 25, they're doing drugs, they're engaging in behaviors that are ultimately going to, you know, possibly cause them to lose their lives at these shows. So I would say that anybody out there, do not go to these shows, do not support these artists. And I heard something else earlier, someone, I don't know if it was you or someone who called in, was talking about the frequencies in the music. There are definitely hurt frequencies in the music making people behave demonically. They're using the 808 bass. It contacts your lowest chakra, your root chakra. That's why they talk about death, murder, and all of these negative things, because those are negative frequencies. If you listen to death, murder, rap in your car, when you get out of your car, your frequency is on the death, murder frequency. And that's what's creating the atmosphere for them to do these rituals. So this is essentially a climate to where post-pandemic, we've got to a point where everything's out in the open. Most people know about these conspiracies and all these things. They talk about it on the news and try to debunk it. A lot of people are kind of hip to this, but most people don't want to actually accept it as true. They know they can do this, and it doesn't matter. There's enough agendas in place where people are going to think it was an accident. They're going to think, oh, no, this couldn't have been on purpose. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is it was on purpose. This is a ritual. They opened some kind of portal. They did some kind of sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Travis Scott, this celebrity worship is just people don't realize. You know, these are like demonic, like Satanist cultists, you know, stuff like that. Like, these people are not people you should be putting your time or energy towards. Like, you need to be investing on healing yourself. Don't listen to their music. Don't support them. Don't follow them on Instagram. Don't go to their shows. None of that, because this is the kind of things that happen. It's actually got to the point where supporting these artists, they're pushing these agendas. It's not only ruining your mind, you might lose your life.
Facts. Yo, my brother, you dropped some serious
And Pandit Cole, that's PN, Pandit, P-A-N-D-I-T, Cole. Instagram, NPan, just PN, Cole, C-O-L-E. You're going to find me. The YouTube is in my link, I'm pretty sure, but it's Orchastra TV, word spelled with the E instead of an O, is spelled with an E instead of an S, and that's Orchastra TV. I got a new podcast on the way, and I, too, delve in the same realm, my G. I also write books. I'm a self-published author.
Yeah?
I do books, and I'm on the story tip too as well, just like you. Like I want to produce. I'm going towards doing anime. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
Making black
dope.
Anime and stuff like that. So I'm on the same frequency with that as well.
Yeah, I'm on that. Like, subscribe, and also support.
Peace, fam. Yo, this is Talib calling from Las Vegas. I don't personally believe that it's a small hadron collider because you know, those are magnetic rings that generate teravolts of the electron energy. You're not going to be able to store that there. Matter of fact, the other small version of CERN is actually located in Chicago.
Wow.
So what I did want to say about that whole situation and it being a ritual, I do agree that it was a ritual. I know that at this point, you know, when you're looking at hip hop in the film industry and this industry right now, you know, I think a lot of I've been working in film now for almost 20 years.
Oh, word?
I've been on almost 30 major films and over 200 television shows.
Oh, wow.
And
salute.
So I can tell you some wild stories of unbelievable occurrences happening that you wouldn't even believe is real. Like you'd be like, yo, that's some bullshit. That didn't really happen, but that shit happened, bro. And the way it happens and the reason that we don't see it like that is because we've been told an illusion, a lie about Hollywood. We don't know how movies see. Now that you've made a film, you understand how many aspects go into making a film.
And it's no joke.
And a lot of people don't understand that. And when I also, you know, I do Live by Live and iHeart. I'm the one of the camera dudes that actually. So if you see the interviews with the talent, I'm the guy that shoots that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Hold on. So you a cinematographer?
I'm behind the scenes, bro. I can tell you that the real behind the scenes stuff. Nobody knows what's going on because everybody's there to do their job.
Got you. Hold on, family. I gotta. You saying all this, so that means you a cinematographer then?
I'm a cinematographer. Me and my wife have a production company. I used to do the trailers for Redbox, stuff like that.
Man. Look, hold on. What's your handle? Well, what's your name?
These people come out and say things and they get classified as a conspiracy theorist, right? The other people who are more legitimate about it, guess what they're not doing? They're like myself. I don't have no page. I don't have any Facebook or Instagram page where I'm sitting around trying to tell all this information. You see what I'm saying? Because see, when they blacklist your life, you understand. People don't understand how deep that gets. So when you're talking about what you saw with this Travis Scott thing, and you're saying, well, he knew this and he knew that, and how these entities and these things work, it doesn't work that way. Everything is compartmentalized. The left hand does not know what the right hand's doing. So when they got entities and beings walking around you, you'll never know they're there. You know why? Because Hollywood told you they look like this. Hollywood told you they look like that.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? Hollywood told you if it's magic, then light has to be shooting out of a wooden stick. We've been manipulated into believing that everything, because remember, in order to watch TV and enjoy a show, the number one thing you must do, all viewers, is suspend your disbelief. This is psychology, PSYOP 101. If I can get you to drop your guard on your version of reality, then I can obscure and manipulate your reality. And remember what social media has done from a psychological and scientific standpoint. Okay? It has created social parallel relationships in people. People are befriending and feeling for people they don't know and that they'll never meet. They are not socializing anymore. Secondly, remember this, frequency is everything. Science has come out and literally told you the universe, the world you're experiencing, is frequency, waves and oscillation. Okay? He who knows that can manipulate that. So this is all frequency based. So what we just witnessed, okay, was a soul harvest. Notice that everyone, they keep telling you, oh, everybody was pushing and just pushing. No, people was being magnetized toward the front. People didn't know what was going on. They were disorientated. Now remember, they have been choosing targeted people in America for years. It's called ELF. Okay? Electronic low frequency weapons. Okay? This has been being done through Amazon. They tested this on millions of Americans and been using it to induce rage, anger, docileness. So now they're at a point where now they can do these type of events. And think about it. It just happened. If it wasn't for the only thing that threw us off was coronavirus. But every time around this year, there's been a mass thing at a concert where souls were taken. They have blinded everyone by simply making them believe what they're looking at in front of them. The world is nothing what you're looking at. You have worked on movies. You know this now. The film industry should teach you one thing and one thing only. That your conscious mind is being manipulated. This world is a story. Ask yourself this. Why do they spend so much money on television? Why do they spend so much money on a superhero? They will spend $500 million. We're not even talking about the marketing, right? They'll spend $500 million to make you believe that Superman's flying in the air. And you never ask yourself why. Because the world is a story that we tell ourselves. That story in our psyche and our neurons start creating the perception we're perceiving, the world we're receiving. So if you control the story, then you control the world. This is the CIA thing. They have been dealing with these. You want to call them demons, you want to call them whatever. I don't care anymore, right? The name is irrelevant because they are not human. And one day we're going to have to wake up to the fact we are not alone in this universe, and they have been on this planet, and that there's plenty of documentation that human beings are being harvested. Now, if you don't believe, just ask yourself, why? Why have they made sure that you are constantly being told a story about something from every from every direction, sir? From every direction. Producers don't really care about what the wardrobe don't care about makeup don't care about grip don't care about gaffers. Do you understand where I'm going? When you sit in that meeting room and y'all all sit down and say everybody has their job and everybody does it. Nobody really knows what's going on except for the vampire floating around the production, seeing where the money's going every day. That's the Travis Scott incident in a nutshell. Y'all want to believe he was in it or not believe that he is so beneath and so far down in the level of involvement of what's happening that he might as well be one of us. He is an image, a face, just like the president of this country and every other person they put in front of you. Our lives are being dictated by influencers. We did not elect these people to tell us what the world is.
Talk to him.
His apology was written by a publicist.
Facts.
His apology was written by a publicist. The bewilderedness and lack of emotion and disconnect you saw on his face was because he couldn't believe what just happened. Nobody believes, even the guys you think they don't, when they see the true power of evil before them, okay, they are in fear. And they will do whatever they are told from that moment forth. Now the question becomes, what are we going to do as people? Are we going to keep I'm going to tell you right now, television could have made all of us into genius engineers and scientists by simple propaganda and programming. It is not against, did you know that it is perfectly legal? There are 24 frames that make a shot. By law, they can remove 2 frames for every 24 frames and replace it with a subliminal a subliminal message. They can allow to put propaganda in every 24 frames. This is thousands of messages in the show you don't even see there. It's legal. Did you know that it's completely legal to rig sports? It's not a crime. The NFL, NBA, I hate to tell you all this, is all rigged, and I'm going to tell you who's writing it. Ryan Seacrest. That guy is scary. I worked on America's Got Talent. I worked around this man. It happened in the 1950s because NBC and other channels had got caught rigging game shows. And they passed a law saying that no intellectual contest could be rigged. But in doing so, they excluded sports because they're not considered intellectual contests. They're considered physical contests. So therefore, by law, all they have to give you is the show because it's just entertainment. Which means what? That it's a script. So, now, how many people out there now are going to start looking at the script instead of the team and start seeing what story they're going to try to tell and start picking the winners?
Facts.
Now, you watch Travis Scott's album, his new album, go through the roof. You watch that he's going to have a new product or some sort of thing that drops that's going to take the world by storm. You watch. You watch.
Oh, look, it's information you
because
kicking.
There's only one company that runs the earth, and it's called BlackRock. Go look it up. And when you start finding out, and you do your own homework and start looking at the financials and looking at these companies and who's behind it and the eerie, weird tales that are just as strange as the Denver airport, I asked you, when are you going to start writing your own story? When are you going to stop letting them tell you what the world is and start telling yourself what the world is? And maybe us getting together and collectively saying what the world is. Because notice all the commercials right now telling you what the world is, right? Notice that.
Facts.
All of the commercials right now, it's about the new world. There hasn't been a movie you watched in Hollywood that hasn't been literally consulted by the CIA since 1957. They spend so much money on psychology. So why do you think they put this up right now? Why do you think they just did this? And why do you think the first thing everybody's saying is CERN and portals and hell? Why do you think the first video, listen now, we've been watching Twitter, we've been watching Facebook, we've been watching Insta, we've been watching everybody get blocked. You tell me. Now, notice that the people are saying that hundreds of people were dead, but the news said 8, and then they said 11.
Yeah.
That's a spin. They have a publicist company that literally deals with this type of situation. The average person has no idea that publicists are spinning the story of your world.
Damage control.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. They get paid real big. They're up there with consultants. You know, guys who just get paid thousands of dollars for an hour of his time to tell you what to do with your time. They wanted us to see this Travis Scott shit, and it wasn't for the fact of the uninitiated. This is for the people, I don't understand, I don't know what's going on. That's not for them. That's for all those people that know what's going on.
Brother
And that's
Talib.
what let this come out the way it did. And you know what? Look how much is done. Just one day, look how much is stirred up. Look.
Yeah.
It's ingenious if you think about it. Psychologically, what you just did to everyone, and even people who weren't there. Remember, this is a nation now of people of parasocial relationships. They have more feeling for the people they don't know than the people that live in their own home. We have to get out of this Hollywood delusional thinking of believing that, oh, wait a second, the devil is going to come like this, and it's going to look like that, and it's going to be like this, that you got to lose all of that. Remember, the same people, it was used by the CIA, once again, as a vessel, because the whole goal here is to feminize all the men in America. Feminized men are not going to fight.
Facts.
They don't want you procreating because they want you to be hooked to a machine to create. I'm not making this up. This is not conspiracy. I don't speak from conspiracy theories. I love science. I'm seeking scientific fact. They don't want you making babies anymore in the near future. They want you upset getting genetic material and that baby being created in a facility. Now, anybody who disbelieves that, just do your research.
I think
that whole Travis, we are at a point now, this Travis Scott thing is a wake-up call to us. You can't keep straggling the fence here. Okay, look, when the coronavirus hit, I got a phone call. I was working the Mountain View, one of the March Madness stuff. I got a phone call. I got a phone call telling me that Hollywood was done. Like, hey, bro, nothing. Yo, everything got canceled. What are you talking about? Yeah, bro, this is about to get serious. They cutting everything down. So before everybody in America even knew, I'm gonna tell you right now, most of America who works in production, half of Yahtzee, they knew. You ever asked yourself how the heck did they have those 6 feet distance mats almost 2 days after they told people the distance? Didn't come from the government. You think it's over? This was your time for everybody in America. You all about to be locked down again. And if you don't believe, just look at the signs happening around you. Major films are being pushed and canceled. Games are being pushed and canceled. They're rushing things out. They're letting people do things. Masks are starting to disappear again. People aren't all clingy about the pandemic, but yet they've never told you the pandemic is over. Look at the signs. Those kids, all the videos, ain't no one person said nothing about none of them people not having a mask on yet. Ain't nobody said. And we all know that them children ain't all vaccinated. We know that. So some would say, well, they ain't got no mask mandate in Houston. They don't have that. They don't have this. They don't have that. No, but they still have the vaccination mandate. Yes, they do.
We call it we call it a jab over here. Just cause yeah.
The jab. I didn't mean to say that, but the jab. So why did they let all those children watch? Now, right after your nice Thanksgiving, you watch what happens. You mark my words. They're gonna use this as an example. This Travis Scott incident is gonna be an example for why there's a major outbreak on that side. I'll tell you that right now. Everybody's doing exactly what they want. Whatever they say, we just start going with that story and perceiving that reality. And if you don't believe that perception stuff is real, check this out. Let me just say this and I'll let you go, brother. I appreciate you even letting me talk. I'm going to say this one thing, and I'm going to show you how powerful the mind is, because we've all had this happen to us. And here it goes. You ever have somebody come you say somebody's coming to pick you up, right? And they say, I'll be there, I'll pick you up, and it's a red car or whatever. We've all had this happen. We go outside to look for the vehicle, and on the road, what do we see? Nothing but red cars. You ever, or you say, oh, you see these sneakers you've been wanting, or whatever item you've been wanting. You ain't seen it, you don't want nobody, but you've seen it in a magazine. You thinking, oh, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna be fresh, I'll be ahead of the game. As soon as you buy it, you ever notice it? Now you see everybody
got it. Same thing with a car.
Yeah.
Buy a car that you think nobody got.
Now ask yourself, why is that? Why is it? Why is it? Is it all of a sudden that is people really following your trend? Or is it the fact of whatever you bring into your perception and put into your mind that's what your external screen of space, your eyes, is going to give you. Your mind's going to bring whatever you want. They know that. There are thousands of rappers, yo, and we both know that they do not all rap about the street. That is a fact, bro.
Facts. Hit that like button. Let's.
So why are they the ones? Oh, because that's what people like. No, we've already proven that people don't know what you hear songs on the radio that you do not like. They play it all day, and then next thing you know, you're singing it, right? And then it grows on you. Oh, I like that. Okay, all right. I didn't like it at first, but now I like it. Right? Because that's how adaptive human beings are.
The stage was set up like a giant Grand Mason sign. As above, as below. They sunk as they danced. Wow.
Spiritual beings living in a human experience. I believe it was staged. Don't believe everything you see. Because perception is everything.
Talk to me.
Don't believe nothing you see. Because fear. That's how they control you, through fear. So you got to think like the Amish people. When you think like them to do what they do, you didn't even worry about this silly stuff. That's why I don't do social media at all. Period. Never have, never will. And that's all I got to say about that.
I saw so many videos about this, and I'm really nosy. I click in the hashtags, I go in the comments. I've seen when this first took place. First things first, they didn't even acknowledge what happened until hours later, 5 hours after, because this happened at 10 p.m. and it was the middle of the night when it started going viral and it started hitting the media and all of that stuff. I'm going to be careful with my words for the most part, but the city of Houston was aware that this was taking place. They're covering up for the amount of casualties that there is actually out there, because it's not realistic that 8 people passed away in a concert filled with 50,000 people if people died that got fake injected and trampled to death. I've seen so many videos in different areas and parts of that concert where people were literally blue in the face. This was so dark and just disturbing. It doesn't make sense. First of all, just look at his set. It looked like fire and brimstone. And, some people that were there, the survivors, they described it as just that, really dark, demonic, very eerie. And, the people that got trampled, they were telling their stories, the ones that survived. They were saying how, when you look up, he has, this thing in the background that says see on the other side. And the mountain, the volcano of brimstone, it has these hands that were summoning you. Everyone said it was dark forces that they felt. I have been at a festival. I went to Rolling Loud in 2019. I went up to the stage where the baby was about to perform, and I was with 8 other people. I lost them all. I was there by myself, And I'm just looking around and I'm like, I can't even breathe already. And nobody's on the stage. Like, we're waiting. It was like another 30 minutes before he performed. And I got all the way out of that area. Like, it was so many fights and mosh pits before it even took place. People were like stuck. Imagine just like being stuck in sinkholes of people on top of people on top of people. And they're all yelling for help. And he knew. I've seen so many videos where he acknowledged it, and he literally said like, "Oh, why y'all want me to stop? Why y'all want me to stop?" or whatever. And then he was like, "Turn up." When they had the ambulance truck going through the crowd, he seen it. He was like, "Yo, what the F is that? All right, everybody put your middle finger up and then start jumping." And that's what incited like the people to jump on top of the ambulance truck. So it's like they were trying to get, even some of them were trying to help people, but a lot of those EMT workers that were out there, they didn't even know how to do CPR. Security was beating up people, ignoring them. It was so much, it was completely chaotic. It was completely chaotic. It was exactly what he was trying to portray and put out there. And and you know what? I'm not glad that this happened at all. I don't even want to say that. But the fact that it's being exposed and the veil is being lifted, this is such a wake-up call, because the devil hides in plain sight. You know what I'm saying? So they see so many people, especially like the young kids that were out there, they see what these artists are about now. And now like this whole worshiping false idols and, you know, having all these artists and these diehard fans and stuff pay $400, $500 and just like having all of these like the Navy and the Beehive and the Barbs and all those different like cult like fans. I pray that all of this comes to an end. And, you know, they start seeking a higher power, a better frequency. And even in Kanye West interview on Drink Champs, he literally just mentioned, like right before that, talking about the 808 frequency and how it's a low frequency and how they put it in the masters in the music. So when you have all of these kids out there raging, it's because they're in a trance. They were like literally in a trance. And that's what, you know, music can control you. Like, I used to work at parties, and when they start playing all that drill and trap, that's when everybody wants to get crazy. And then after that, when they see it getting too like hyped up and wild, that's when they're like, all right, let's slow it down, or let's play some reggae so like the guys can dance with the girls, because music will literally change the frequency. Like, it can control the cells in your body. Like, people really don't understand. Like, they put witchcraft and like spells on music, on these masters, on these beats and these drums, and it just summons different things. And I really am like hoping that so many people wake up and see what it is. You know, it's 2021. It's way too much going on, and way more people than 8 passed away in that concert, and they're really trying to cover it up. And that whole thing with the injection, let me tell you, there was so many people on videos on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You click on the hashtags, there's so many videos that come up, and they were saying that there was a Rona truck a Rona tent in the parking lot. So imagine possibly getting, you know, the shot before you go inside. And then there was someone else out there selling lace pills, because there was a nurse that tweeted that in real time in a local Houston hospital. And God forbid you take a lace pill on top of getting a Rona shot, and you're out there still doing other drugs and drinking. And that's how it happened. Because I imagine nobody's just going to run up on someone and inject them in the neck, and they're not like, and no one stops them. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you're going to grab someone's arm, like, hey, you know, you'll defend yourself. You'll stop them. I feel like that's really what took place. Like, if we're talking injections, and then there's another flyer, because he took down a lot of his own posts where he's like inciting this kind of behavior from his fans. Because you don't see that too many concerts and stuff. Like, you see the artists have control. Like, they can control the crowd. He did not want to control the crowd. He's literally looking at people in the crowd being carried out on stretchers, and he's like, if he was doing like this chant, I'm gonna DM it to you, because you know, like, I be trying to DM you some stuff sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, send me that ASAP.
I'm gonna sound floating where, first of all, Kylie, mind your business. I know that's your baby father, but like, let that man handle his own affairs, because sis, you was walking clean past bodies on the floor. These videos are surfacing, and a lot of them are on Twitter. A lot of them are like, when you click these hashtags, Astroworld, Travis Scott, Astrofest, and cancel Travis Scott, cancel Astroworld, like they're coming up, like all, and YouTube, TikTok, all of these social media apps, like they're coming up and they're being exposed for who they really are. And I'm glad that they are, because like we have to stop, as a people, we have to stop worshiping these people. Like we have to stop worshiping these people. They have nothing to offer us. They have nothing to offer us. That was a straight up and down death fest. And I'm so sorry for all the victims, the families of the victims, and they're everybody involved. They did not help, from the staff, security, production, Travis, the city of Houston, all of that. Like EMT, none of them helped, but until the very end. And now he want to sit there with his hand on his head for mad minutes in that little video, not sincere at all. You have other people that were clearly not even involved that are like, I'm donating money, I'm doing this, that, and the third. Like, he's just like, oh, I'm devastated. You devastated how? You just paid your dues to your God at the end of the day. But ain't nobody jacking that. Ain't nobody jacking Goat Lucy. It's a different, we on a different time, and we got to be mindful of the words we say as well, because everybody be talking that demon time. I am not on demon time. I'm a child of God. I'm not playing with nobody out here. Ain't no demon time, son. Ain't no demon time.
And you want to know what's crazy? It's still going to be people who going to be still spiritually asleep and going to say that what happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival wasn't demonic. There's still going to be people who's still going to defend the man for just sitting there carrying on the show while there were people, lifeless bodies, out there in the crowd. People begging him to stop the show. But yeah, there are going to be people that still support him and don't see nothing wrong with what he did. If you don't believe that there was nothing demonic about that whole concert, you are spiritually blind. And I pray that God open your eyes to see what's really going on in the spiritual realm.